2, 3. Oh!
I don't, like, I'm sure he loves it. You know, I'm sure I would love, when I was a kid, to open a bunch of toys. But at the same time, it's like, it's something off about it. It's kind of like seeing child stars on television, because you know, like, their parents are literally forcing them to do it. And it's just something sad about it. And I can't help but getting the same vibe. You know, obviously I don't know what goes on, but I watch it and I'm like, ugh.
Looking back now, PewDiePie's old warning about Ryan's world hits way different. What looked like a cute little toy channel in the beginning slowly turned into a whole kiddie content empire, with Ryan Kaji placed right at the center before he was even old enough to understand what a brand deal was. The channel started in 2015 when Ryan was around 3, and at first it was just simple videos of him opening toys, playing around, and doing the kind of stuff millions of little kids already did at home. But that innocent setup did not stay small for long. Once the views started flying in, the whole thing leveled up from homemade family videos into a serious money machine. Ryan became one of YouTube's biggest child stars. Forbes-linked reports had him topping the highest-paid YouTuber lists, and by 2020, his estimated yearly earnings were around $29.5 million. Some public net worth estimates even throw around numbers near $100 million. But the messy part is that nobody outside that family business can fully see where every dollar went. And that is where the whole situation starts looking real uncomfortable. Even if some of Ryan's money was protected, the bigger question is how much control a kid can really have when his face is the product, his childhood is the content, and the family business depends on him staying on camera. Because once your toys, clothes, TV deals, sponsorships, and thousands of branded products are all built around one child's image, it stops feeling like a fun little hobby and starts looking like a corporate setup wearing pajamas. At first, the videos were basic and harmless looking, which is why so many parents let their kids watch them without thinking too deep. But then the numbers got wild. We're talking billions of views, massive ad money, product placements, and a whole preschool audience that probably couldn't even tell when they were watching entertainment versus advertising. That's exactly why watchdog groups started calling the channel out, because Ryan's world wasn't just a kid playing with toys anymore. It became one of the clearest examples of how YouTube turned childhood into an algorithm-friendly cash grab. Now, despite how insanely fast Ryan's world blew up, the whole thing started giving people a weird feeling pretty early. On the surface, it looked innocent enough. A little kid plays with toys, his parents record it, and millions of other kids watch because it feels simple, bright, and harmless. But once you look past the colors, the silly music, and the giant toy boxes, there was a darker question sitting underneath all of it. Was this really a child having fun, or was this a full business operation being dressed up as playtime?
For the last 18 weeks counting, Ryan Toy Reviews has been the most popular channel on YouTube. The youngest star YouTube has ever seen. Are we celebrating this? Are we celebrating the fact that this mother is like, you think he's getting any money of this? You think he's getting the toys? The genre skyrocketed once kids became the host. The kids are not the host. Okay, let's watch a video and I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah, awesome.
What are we gonna get?
I don't know. Who will you hatch?
See, she doesn't even let him finish. He was clearly about to say something there.
Who will you hatch?
Look at him.
And we even found a
No, you don't matter, because I matter! Shut the f up, Ryan!
That is where PewDiePie came in, and honestly, he caught something a lot of people were ignoring. While mainstream outlets were busy celebrating Ryan as one of the biggest kid stars on YouTube, PewDiePie pointed out the uncomfortable part that nobody wanted to say out loud. Ryan was the face. Ryan was the draw. Ryan was the reason people clicked, but the public still did not really know how much control he had, how much money was actually protected for him, or whether he could freely step away from the camera whenever he wanted. And then the situation got even messier, because this was not only about child stardom anymore, it was also about advertising. Ryan's world was accused by watchdog groups of blending normal toy videos with paid promotions in a way that young kids could not clearly understand.
And we even found a Walmart exclusive version too.
Ooh, why would any kid give a shit about that? Explain that to me, okay? Why would any kid give a shit about Walmart edition? It doesn't make any sense. And then you get The Verge posting, he took money for Warner Brothers positive game reviews, even though he didn't. Talk about inadequate disclosure, huh? Okay, well, where is it here?
That matters because preschool-aged viewers are not sitting there like grown adults analyzing disclosures. They just see Ryan smiling with a toy, and suddenly that toy feels like the most important thing in the world. One of the biggest examples people kept pointing to involved Walmart exclusive products. Ryan's World had videos featuring toys and products tied to major brands, but critics argued that the ad disclosures were either missing, unclear, or way too weak for the audience watching. And when the audience is mostly little kids, a tiny disclosure buried somewhere does not really cut it. The whole setup can easily turn into a pressure machine, where kids watch Ryan play, beg their parents to go to Walmart, and the family brand cashes in while everyone pretends this is just innocent fun. That is why PewDiePie's criticism aged so sharply. He wasn't just hating on a successful kid channel. He was calling out a system where a child could become the mascot for a massive commercial empire while adults behind the scenes controlled the cameras, the contracts, the uploads, and the money flow. Luckily for Ryan's World, people did not ignore the warning signs forever. As the channel kept growing, watchdog groups, journalists, and regular viewers started looking closer at what was actually happening behind all those bright thumbnails and toy-filled videos. And that's when Truth in Advertising, also known as Tina.org, stepped in and investigated Ryan Toys Review, the channel that later became Ryan's World.
Everything is my favorite.
With over 21 million subscribers, Ryan of Ryan Toys Review has become a household name, with parents and kids watching this 7-year-old play with toys over 31 billion times.
Welcome to Ryan Toy Review.
But this morning, the popular YouTube channel is under fire in a new complaint to the Federal Trade Commission filed by the watchdog group Truth in Advertising. The channel's administrators are accused of misleading their youngest fans. The group saying Ryan and his parents haven't done enough to let viewers know when they're watching sponsored videos, claiming Ryan Toys Review blurs the distinction between advertising and organic content for its intended audience.
At the time, this was not some tiny family vlog nobody had heard of. Tina said the channel had already passed more than 20 million subscribers and over 30 billion views, which means this was one of the biggest children's channels on the entire platform. Their complaint accused the channel of mixing ads with normal videos in a way that could mislead preschool-aged kids, because little kids are not built to separate a real toy review from a paid promotion. They just see Ryan having fun, and boom, that product suddenly looks like the hottest thing on earth.
The group says 92% of the videos posted between January and July included promotions geared toward children under the age of 5. The channel's sponsors have included toy maker Hasbro, Chuck E. Cheese, and even Netflix.
This is an ad for Netflix.
While the channel does comply with FTC guidelines by including that disclosure.
And the examples were not light either. Tina pointed to a January 18, 2019 video promoting Chuck E. Cheese that, according to the complaint, did not clearly reveal a material connection. Then a few months later, another video showed there was some kind of brand relationship there, but critics argued the disclosure still was not strong enough for the tiny audience watching. That is a huge problem, because when your viewers are that young, technically there is not the same thing as actually understandable. Then came the Hardys and Carl's Jr. situation, which looked even more messy. Tina highlighted an 8+ minute video built around Hardy's new Star Pals toys, burgers, chicken tenders, and even the Tag with Ryan app, yet it still carried the same colorful pretend playstyle as the rest of the channel. To an adult, maybe it looked like a commercial hiding in plain sight. To a preschooler, it probably just looked like Ryan playing around again.
And an on-screen statement for sponsored videos, Truth in Advertising argues those disclosures are insufficient, adding research has found kids under the age of 5 are unable to identify television commercials and distinguish them from other forms of content. Cheyenne and Loan Kaji run their son's massive channel. In a statement to NBC News, they say in part, "The well-being of our viewers is always our top priority. We strictly follow all platforms' terms of service and all existing laws and regulations, including advertising disclosure requirements. But
also a
in the end,
keychain.
will kids know the difference?
So once this complaint became public, Ryan's World started catching way more heat. News outlets picked it up, people started questioning the whole kidfluencer business model, and the channel's clean, family-friendly image began looking a lot more calculated. The issue was not just one video or one brand deal, it was the pattern. Kid-friendly content, massive corporate money, weak disclosures, and an audience too young to know they were being sold to. Now, whether or not Ryan's World knowingly crossed any legal lines, the whole thing still looked shady from more than one angle. It was not just the ad disclosure drama anymore. It was also the bigger question people kept dodging. What happens when a kid grows up, but the brand built around him refuses to grow up with him? That's why the conversation started spreading all over TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube commentary spaces. Some people were joking on the surface, but underneath the memes, a lot of viewers clearly felt bad for Ryan.
Because at a certain point, it stops looking like a cute family channel and starts looking like a kid who got locked into a role before he could even understand what that role meant. The toys, the bright thumbnails, the silly challenges, the fake excitement, all of it made sense when he was tiny, but when he got older, the vibe changed fast. And that is what made the 2024 Joan Yoshai interview so interesting. Ryan was not just some little toy review kid anymore. He talked like a regular growing teenager with his own interests, and gaming seemed way more natural for him than pretending to be excited about preschool toys forever. Viewers pointed out Minecraft, Roblox, and gaming content as the lane that actually fits him now, and honestly, that makes total sense. A teenager wanting to game instead of living inside a toy commercial is not shocking, that is just normal. This is why Ryan's World became such a messy example in the child influencer debate. It shows how a family brand can become so big, so profitable, and so corporate that the child at the center almost becomes stuck as the mascot. Even if everything is technically managed by adults, the emotional cost still matters. A teenager should not have to carry a whole empire just because the algorithm and the merch machines still want the old version of him.
Go a little bit, and we would probably start casting some other on-camera kid talent and then on-camera talent who could carry same essence that Ryan had. So we still harness the same connection we established through these past years with the fans.
He might not think, I don't know how he feels about college, but we have expressed that that's the goal that we want for him, is to attend college.
Yeah, ultimately he
So,
decides,
yeah,
and we never
yeah.
really push him to do anything that
Right,
he doesn't
but-
want to do. But we think it's a great opportunity for him to go to college and just meet with his peers who have the same interest. We want him to experience that. So we continue just kind of showing him that side of the good side of the going to college, continuing education. But ultimately you decide. Maybe the world's different by the time you grow up. So.
And this is exactly why laws are finally starting to catch up. Illinois passed the first major U.S. child influencer earnings law, and California later expanded protections so money from child-focused online content has to be set aside for minors. But honestly, money is only one part of it. Kids also need privacy, real choice, and the right to grow up without their whole childhood being turned into content for strangers online. Now, for me, this is the part that really makes you wonder what is going on in Ryan's head. Because even after all the backlash, all the ad drama, and all the public concern, Ryan's World is still a giant channel. Public trackers still show the channel sitting around 40 million subscribers with more than 63 billion total views, and some analytics sites estimate the channel can still pull in serious monthly money just from YouTube alone. And that is before you even start talking about sponsorships, licensing deals, merch, toys, TV projects, and the whole Ryan's World product universe. But the uncomfortable question is still sitting right there. How much of that empire truly belongs to Ryan? His parents have said before that money is set aside for him, and to be fair, nobody outside the family can fully verify every financial detail. But that is exactly why people stay suspicious.
When a kid becomes the face of a brand before kindergarten, and then years later he is still appearing in content that feels built for a much younger audience, it is hard not to side-eye the whole setup. And that John Yushai interview made the situation feel even more awkward. Ryan's parents tried to present the family business as something positive, organized, and built with Ryan's future in mind, but viewers could also see the obvious tension in the room. Ryan is growing up. His interests are changing. He seems way more connected to gaming and normal teenage stuff than toy unboxings and preschool-style videos. So when adults keep explaining how everything is fine, people naturally start asking the simple question: has anyone really asked Ryan what he wants? Because that is the part that hits hardest. This is not just about views or checks or being famous online. This is about a kid who became a brand before he could even spell the word brand. And now the internet is watching him age out of the character everyone built around him. And that is the part that feels the most telling. It is always we, but where is the clear answer about what Ryan actually wants? That clip made people side-eye the whole setup even harder, because Ryan is not some random employee in a company meeting. He is their son. So when the adults around him seem unsure about what he wants next, it makes viewers wonder how that conversation was not already happening behind closed doors. Now, to be fair, nobody outside that family knows every private conversation they've had, but from the outside looking in, the optics are rough. When a kid has spent most of his childhood carrying a billion-view brand, people are naturally going to question whether the adults are prioritizing his peace or protecting the business. Because once the checks get that big, once the merch is in stores, once the whole family lifestyle is tied to the channel, walking away is not just turn off the camera. It becomes a whole money machine nobody wants to unplug. And nowadays, Ryan's world does look different than it used to. A lot of the recent content seems to lean more into long compilations, family challenges, older clips, and more videos involving Emma and Kate. Almost like the channel is quietly shifting the spotlight while still keeping the Ryan's World name alive. Ryan still appears here and there, but the energy is clearly not the same as when he was the tiny kid opening toys and acting shocked for the camera. So yes, maybe things are better than they were before, but the bigger issue still feels unresolved. Ryan became the face of a brand before he could really choose that life, and now, even as he gets older, that brand still follows him everywhere. That is why this whole situation feels bigger than just one YouTube family. It's about how easily childhood can get turned into content, and how hard it can be for a kid to escape once the internet decides their childhood is profitable. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Ryan's World is finally letting Ryan move on, or do you think the brand is still holding him in place? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.